Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Christian's Fragrance Reviews. Today we will talk about one of my favorite fragrances from one of my favorite houses, Interlude from Amouage. How did this fragrance get into my collection? So when I started my fragrance journey in 2019, I was mostly into designer fragrances like Dior or Chanel or Versace, you know, those kind of fragrances you could get at the airport or your local fragrance shop. But I also did my internet research because I was really deep into that subject, and this is how I got my eyes on this fragrance, and I decided to buy a sample online. When I first smelled the fragrance, I must admit I did not like it at all. I remember back then I found the opening really herbaceous, strong and smoky, and I thought to myself, who wants to smell like that? So I put aside my sample and I came back to it later after I got my nose more into niche fragrances and after I opened up my nose more to niche fragrances, and the second time I tested it, I immediately fell in love with the fragrance. Like the sweeter notes and the balsamic notes were much more prominent in the second time. And yeah, I ordered a bottle and I will tell you exactly how this fragrance smells. So as I said, the opening is very herbaceous because of the oregano note, but it is also bitter and smoky. After about an hour or half an hour, the more balsamic notes of opoponax and the amber come more into play, and also the bitterness fades away. And I think the opening is like the phase where most people are actually turned off by this fragrance, but if you give it some time, it gets much more mellow and much more like easy to smell. And I think this is like when the hard note or like the dry down comes, this is where the fragrance is actually very beautiful and very complex. One interesting aspect of this fragrance is also that it has a certain concept behind it. On the one hand, it has the concept of disorder and balance, and on the other side of tranquility. And I think the perfumer of this fragrance, Pierre Negrin, did a really good job conveying this fragrance through the smell. So the top note is very strong and chaotic, and also a little bit like harsh and strong. But then later the tranquility comes, you know, the sweeter notes, the more balsamic notes, and then the fragrance is more in balance. The performance of this fragrance is outstanding. You get a longevity about 10 hours, and throughout the lifetime of the fragrance you get a good projection. I mean, it's called the Blue Beast for a reason. The presentation of the fragrance is really nice. You can see it has a dark blue color with a golden cap, the golden emblem, and on the side you have the name of the fragrance, which comes in handy if you have multiple Amouage fragrances. Also, the box is made of strong cardboard, so no simple paper box, and also the colors and the strokes of the colors convey the concept of the fragrance again, like the chaotic nature of the colors. Yeah, it conveys the concept. And then also in the inside you have this blue velvet, and this is where the fragrance sits on. So a really nice presentation from Amouage. So in what occasion do I think you should wear Interlude? Honestly, I like the fragrance so much, I think you could wear it every day as a signature fragrance if you want to. But I can also understand if people say this fragrance is too strong for me, too rich for me, too sweet. I think an interesting alternative to this fragrance would be another fragrance from the house of Amouage called Amouage Man. So Amouage Man is much drier, it doesn't have the sweetness, and it doesn't have such a big projection. So it's not as cloying as this fragrance. So maybe this could be an interesting alternative for you. So in summary, I think Interlude is a fantastic fragrance from the house of Amouage. It has a beautiful complex smell, it has a very good performance, a nice presentation, and if you're thinking about upgrading your collection with a special and unique fragrance, I think you should give Interlude a try. So this was my review of the fragrance Interlude. If you liked it, please leave me a like and subscribe, and I will see you for my next review. Bye bye.